What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the German Bear Podcast. And today we got day 8 recap of the 2022 Chicago Bears training camp. At the 8th practice, a lot of stuff was happening. We have some player signings, some new faces to the franchise, and also a lot of interesting stuff to talk about the offense as well as the defense today. So with that being said, let's get right into it. In general, it was a padded practice today and once again open to the public, so more tweets and more information about it. Also, we had some one-on-ones, some 3-on-3s, which was actually new, some 11-on-11s, and also some kind of a new blocking drill, which was nice to really emphasize blocking today and had some really cool drills by report. So that's obviously something cool to see. As for the players that returned to practice today, we had Angelo Blackson, who was missing the last couple of practices, as well as rookie UDFA Chase Allen. And missing today were a lot of players, actually. No surprise here, Tevin Jenkins was not there, Robert Quinn was not active at practice today, and also we had several players on a bike today. On the sideline, Duke Shelley, Kyrus Tonga, James O'Shaughnessy, rookie Kyler Gordon, receiver Dante Pettis, CJ Avery, as well as Kendall Vildor were all not participating at today's practice. So a lot of key pieces actually to this team were not active today, but I mean, we don't have any updates on these players. I don't know what happened to them, if there's something going wrong, but I guess they were just having some minor issues, maybe some tightness, I don't know, and they're just working on it for today, and I expect most of them being back tomorrow at least. As with that being said, let's get right into it and talk about the roster moves that happened. And the Bears actually signed 2 veteran players today, Davontae Harris, cornerback, and defensive lineman Trevon Coley. And in a corresponding move, the Bears released Azoya Alufohai and John Alexander. And without further ado, let's get right into it and talk about the addition of Davontae Harris real quick. He's a corner, 5'11", 200 pounds, and 27 years old, so still kind of young, and was, I think, even drafted in 2018 to the Bengals, and had a pretty okay career. He has mostly been a special teamer, and I expect him to be that with the Bears as well. But he also had some starting experience with the Denver Broncos in 2019. He appeared in 16 games that year and also had 6 games started with 3 pass deflections. And also in that year, he played 37% of the special team snaps. So he definitely has experience with the special teams, but also had to step in at times with several teams that he's been on. Was drafted to Cincinnati, then he was on Denver, then on Baltimore, on LA with the Chargers, and then with San Francisco as his last stop, and now he's with the Bears getting a shot during training camp. I think it's a solid addition, and he definitely could make the team. I mean, he's not slow. He had a pretty fast 40-yard time at the Combine in 2018, 4.43, so he is quick. He has showed that he can actually start in this league somewhat, maybe not super reliable, but he can be a piece that can be utilized during a season. And also he has that special teams experience, so nice seeing just a player getting a shot here, and we will definitely wait and see what happens with him. As for Trevon Coley, the new defensive lineman, he's 6'1", 310 pounds, 28 years old, and definitely a veteran in this league by now. He entered the league in 2016 as a UDFA with the Baltimore Ravens and carved out a pretty nice career overall, I would say. Obviously nothing too special, but in 2017, when he was 23 years old, he finally got his first starting experience in the league. I mean, he got plenty with the Browns. He appeared in 15 games, started 15 of those, had 2 sacks, 41 combined tackles, 4 quarterback hits, 7 tackles for losses, and also 1 fumble recovery, which was nice. And in 2018, he continued his journey with 16 games appearances, 14 games started, half a sack, 39 combined tackles, 4 TFLs, 1 quarterback hit, and 1 fumble recovery again. And after those 2 years with Cleveland, he just was kind of a role player for Indy in 2019 and in Arizona in 2020. But also had some 2 games started there and also a sack for the Cardinals. So nice seeing that. Nothing too special, but Trevon Coley is definitely a player I'm looking forward to, and he could be a pretty crucial part for the defensive line rotation. Obviously, we got some good competition there with Kyrus Tonga, Angelo Blackson, Mario Edwards Jr., Mike Pennell, and so on and so on. And I'm definitely missing some guys right off the bat as well. So it's a good addition. He's a veteran. He can bring some experience to the locker room, but let's see how he actually performs. And if he can make the roster, I don't know, but still a pretty good addition during training camp just to seek through all of the options that are still available. And with that being said, let's actually talk about today's practice and start talking about the offensive performance today. And I would say overall it was pretty good play calling today, which was nice to see. We had some nice screens for good gains today to utilize your fast offensive linemen in space, make them actually move and just destroy some people in the open field, as well as just quick dump off passes for Justin Fields because he doesn't have the most time in the world. So nice seeing just the play calling adjusting to the offensive situation at the moment. And also what was new is that the defense ran some scout defense for the offense, and that was something that never happened this early in Bears camp by reports. And just the Matt Eberflus mentality is definitely having an impact on the Bears. They're already looking at their opponents and they just want to be prepared. And also, Luke Getsy afterwards in the presser said that they want to prepare for Green Bay and Minnesota. So I just love seeing the Bears preparing and just getting after it as soon as possible. As for Justin Fields today, he definitely had more completions than incompletions in team today, so that was first of all nice to see and hear. Also, lots of good throws in there today. He connected with Pringle along the sideline on a nice throw a couple of times with Cole Kmet today. They really worked on their connection today and had a lot of great passes together. And just, I love that Cole Kmet is kind of turning into that security blanket that Justin Fields definitely needs in that offense. And Cole Kmet also needs to take the next step, and he's definitely looking like he's developing quite nicely under Luke Getsy's offense. Also, a very nice deep shot to Velus Jones Jr. for completion. And also some overthrows today to Equanimous St. Brown as well as Tajay Sharp today. The short one actually led to an interception, so one pick today for Fields. But I mean, that can, and I can't judge that because I didn't see the video, can be some miscommunication. We don't know. We can't just sit here and speculate on things that we don't definitely know about. So just in general, I think once again, it was nice seeing that Justin Fields actually, even though he overthrew some guys, was spreading the ball to many receivers and just keeping the defense on their toes. So that was nice. And I think overall a pretty good day for Justin Fields. As for the running backs, David Montgomery is just David Montgomery at this point. I mean, he's showing off his shiftiness. He shows his gap understanding, and it's just gaining nice runs, and the guy's just so good. I mean, I can't wait and see what he does in 2022. Treston Ebner continues to impress as well. Had some big runs where he made a defender miss today, so him just showing his elusiveness and his versatility as a pass catcher as well as a runner out of the backfield. The wide receivers, Byron Pringle with some good catches today. Nice seeing him still getting involved into the offense. Equanimous St. Brown seems to get open a lot lately, so I love his development in this offense. Obviously, he knows Luke Getsy, but he's also just such a big body, talented wide receiver that I would love to see succeed in Chicago, so I love seeing the positive reports about him every single day. Velus Jones Jr. once again showed off his speed with that deep completion with Justin Fields. And also David Moore was mentioned today with a touchdown. So nice seeing him just getting some touchdowns lately, obviously with the second stringers and Trevor Siemian in there. But still, he is showing out and can be a pretty nice addition to the Bears rotation, which is more than valuable enough. The tight ends today, Cole Kmet, in my opinion, had a pretty great day. Not flawless, but very good in my opinion. He connected with Fields on a 3rd and 7 and got the first down, 4 yards. It was a quick screen and he just ran through some people and got the first down. Also a nice catch downfield on a seam route. So nice seeing him actually catching these deep routes as well, which are super crucial for zone coverages, and it's just a great throw to Justin Fields to hit as well. And also several more catches today. And after practice, I thought it was kind of interesting. He stated that this was the hardest practice he's ever been a part of. It just gets you preaching speed, physicality, and tempo, and I absolutely love that development of the coaching staff. That's something we did not see or hear the last couple of years under Matt Nagy. It's just a whole new mentality, and I absolutely love it. It's old school, great football that they're preaching and teaching, and I mean, it's just nice hearing some actual competent reports about a Bears offense. As for the other tight ends, Ryan Griffin was mentioned with some nice blocks today in that blocking drill that I've mentioned earlier as well. 2 great blocks in a row on Dane Cruikshank and DeAndre Houston Carson. And receiving wise, not a lot about him today. I just know that he had a drop, but that's something he can work on. And I mean, he's a veteran. He knows how to deal with these kind of things, and he will definitely overcome it, no question. The offensive line today, Braxton Jones continues to look better every single day. Had a really nice rep against Al-Qadim Muhammad today. And Gatsby is just very happy with him. He said in the presser that he's just proud about his young player and that he went up the first rep in one-on-ones the start of training camp this season and went against Robert Quinn, the guy that just broke the sack record of the Chicago Bears, and gave him a pretty good matchup. And I mean, Braxton Jones is just looking like he will actually be the starter at left tackle. And I mean, who would have thought that the 5th round pick would actually start at the start of the season? Obviously, I myself was pretty high on him, but I couldn't imagine him actually being the starter, especially with Tevin and Borum being there, but with now Tevin Jenkins just being absent. Braxton Jones is definitely getting his shot and is just impressing every single one of them. As for the offensive line in general today, Braxton Jones was at left tackle for most of the practice. Cody Whitehair at left guard, no surprise there. Sam Mustipher and Doug Kramer continue to splitting reps at center. Michael Schofield at right guard, and Riley Reef and Larry Borum are splitting reps at right tackle. So it seems like the big competition right now is at right tackle. Who will be the starter and who will be the swing tackle, because both of them, Borum and Reef, can play left and right tackle. So they have that versatility, and whoever is the better man, the other guy will be the swing tackle for the Bears. So I actually absolutely love that. Braxton Jones at left tackle looks pretty good. We obviously have to wait and see how he does in game, but for now I'm fine with him. Right tackle Riley Reef or Larry Borum, whoever wins it, and whoever loses that battle will be the swing tackle. I think we got a pretty good tackle trio there. And with that being said, that wraps up the offensive performance today. Way better than the last couple of days. Obviously 2 days ago it was a better practice, but I think it was even better today. So nice just seeing them stacking some good practices right here. And with that being said, let's move on to the defensive performance today. And the defense, I don't have a lot on them today. First of all, the defensive line. Mike Pennell had a sack today, so him finally showing up, haven't heard anything about him since the start of training camp, so him showing out is nice. And I mean, he's a veteran, he could definitely make the roster, and him having a sack obviously is a great indication for that. Nothing on the linebackers today. No information was given out by the reporters, or not much at least. As for the defensive backs, there's definitely some news. Greg Stroman stepped in as the outside corner for Kyler Gordon today. Obviously, Kyler was out, Kendall Vildor was out, Duke Shelley was out, 3 pretty important corners to our secondary. So Greg Stroman stepped in as the outside corner. That was interesting to see him being that guy that will go in if Kyler Gordon is out. Also, Jaquan Brisker continues to just be an absolute monster. He had a great pass breakup, punching the ball out of Cole Kmet's hands on a 3rd down, so just showing that he's clutch and that he has the instincts to make a play on any given situation. A.J. Thomas today had that interception on Justin Fields on that overthrow to Tajay Sharp, so just a young player coming away with a pick is nice to see as well. As for Tavon Young, our nickel corner or expected starter at nickel corner, with a very good day today. He had a nice block shed against Darnell Mooney in that blocking drill and just put him on the ground simply. And also PBU on Darnell Mooney later, tipped the ball in the air. Mooney still could have caught it, but Eddie Jackson was there, hit Mooney so he couldn't make the play. And just the secondary working together as a team, forcing the incompletion was great to see as well. So Tavon Young with a great play there, and just Eddie Jackson with even, I would say, a better play afterwards, just thinking with the situation and making a play on the ball. So that wraps up the defensive performance today. Not a lot of information was giving out, but I mean, it looked like they still did pretty well, and I'm super confident into the defense for 2022. As for special teams today, nothing was reported, so not a lot about that, but all we've heard throughout training camp was just positive stuff about Trenton Gill, Cairo Santos, Velus Jones Jr. being the punt returner, so I wouldn't expect anything else to come out the next couple of days as well. And with that being said, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Definitely stay tuned for the next couple of days. I will keep you updated on every single thing that happens at training camp. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. Check out Instagram if you want to as well. And as always, guys, bear down.